Okay, I guess I'm recording. It's so weird. So I'm actually uploading the vlogs I recorded today. The amount of just number of problems, setbacks, pesky setbacks, things that should just work, things that worked totally fine in 1998 or 2005, but 2025, no. I've had older equipment work better. So yeah, I am just whenever this stuff wants to upload, I also need to screen it, check it, add links and stuff. And I recorded both of these today. I have a tendency to tangent. I planned on vlogging every day pretty much this month, except for like event days that were like big. I have just about had it with Go Battle League right now. I've done Go Battle League today, and I could still do some, but I'm Go Battle Leagued out in Pokemon Go right now. And yeah, whatever. So I'll just stick my phone over here, and like what usually happens as soon as I take my attention away from the phone, somebody or something wants my attention. I literally was just about to record this again a few times, and right now it's the 25th of October. Everyone is freaking out over 3i Atlas, and everybody thinks they know. Oh, they know, and they've already decided what they know, whatever it is. I don't know, but me personally as a skeptic, I don't know. It's weird, it's interesting, but I'm not going to conclusion jump, but that's just me. And so, of course, I went to go, it's so bizarre. These are the weird things that happen to me in my life. Okay, so I was about to record, and my phone goes, oh, it's DuoLingo time. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I haven't done my DuoLingo for today because I'm I'm trying to do things that are more meaningful in my life again. Not that I haven't done meaningful things in my life, I have. But I'm trying to, like, it's like micro goals where like passive or little bits of things add up over time. I've done this so many times in my life. And the reason I stopped doing DuoLingo was, well, there's a variety of reasons for that. And a lot of it had to do with, well, at the time, I really wanted to hit level 50 in Pokemon Go. But I also was like, oh, I don't know, dying from tumors that the medical industry in America is stupid and terrible and could have been prevented or addressed over 10 years ago easily, but no. America for you. Whatever, rant over. So I'm sitting here about to like bring up my OBS, and Duolingo's like, oh, study. Now usually we'll study probably because it's easier for me. I've used Duolingo for years. I used to have like streaks that were years long. Especially when I went to UMass Boston, probably because it was something to do while I was commuting or waiting for something. And I would usually do German and Chinese. And it really helped me because like it's called code switching, where I could, because my problem before I was doing Duolingo, this is why I feel like Duolingo is actually good, and it's changed a lot over the years. If I was speaking Chinese, and then I suddenly switched to German, I couldn't, and I'd start saying stuff in Chinese. Or if I was speaking Chinese and I had to switch to German, or vice versa, I don't know, I would say the wrong words in the wrong language, but then I would like speak it in the grammar of that language. So, whatever. But when I was doing Duolingo, what I would do was I'd switch back and forth from German to Chinese, and by the way, I only do Mandarin. I do like Pekingese, but that's not an option. I did also purchase a whole course of study for Cantonese. Cantonese, like, it's crazy. Let's not even bother. I do watch movies, or I did a lot in Cantonese, but I just don't find it to be useful. I do find it to be beautiful as like a singing language or a movie language. It's pretty interesting in like cinema. So there's that. Also, I had like, this was like in the Bush era, I think. I was suddenly fascinated by Chinese rap music for a brief time here and there, off and on. And I was fascinated with how Cantonese people would rap. as well as like Pekingese. I just thought that was cool. But whatever, that's me. So today, because recently, okay, so I was off and on studying Spanish here and there. I just wasn't consistent with it because my dad owns a timeshare in Florida, which I don't think I'm really going to anymore because, well, for reasons. It was fun for several years, and now it's at the point where like there's some hassle that it's kind of not worth it for certain. Like I don't have to go through these certain things anymore. I don't want to blame anyone in particular, but like there's just these certain things that I just don't really care for. Anyway, so I was kind of trying to keep up with Spanish, and then the last time I went, I did try to work on my Spanish. I suck at Spanish, in my humble opinion, my objective, honest, subjective opinion. But I was mostly just doing like Spanish stuff. And the last two times I went, because wherever we went in Florida, especially the places we went to, nobody could speak English, and if they did, I couldn't understand what the hell they were talking about, and vice versa. So my approach to everything is, well, I'm able-bodied, I'm smart enough, or even with my freaking anemia, to at least try. I thought, well, I can do Spanish a little bit. I can do some basics or whatever. So I did that. I also would approach it to like a childlike level, that even if I talk like a baby, at least I'm somewhat, someone can comprehend what I'm talking about, right? And then when I was studying Spanish, I was also doing, sometimes I do Latin, which is different. And because, Latin, I was also doing Portuguese, which is sort of Latin adjacent. And, yeah, I did that off and on. Mostly it was just Spanish and Latin. And one of the things I just really liked was Greek. I've always liked Greek. I have keyboards in my phones, all of my devices except for my PC, have Greek installed into the keyboards of the devices, including every iPhone I've had. I had an iPad at one point. Every tablet, every other kind of device that I've ever used, that was mine, especially smartphones, had a Greek keyboard in it. I also would have a Chinese keyboard in it. Not the actual physical kind of keyboard, the digital kind, like touchscreen kind. I wish I had a real Chinese keyboard. That's a whole other topic. You can look that up if you feel like it. That's weird and interesting. But I have been using Greek letters in my Pokemon stuff to organize it, right? So I wasn't sure if I still wanted to know Spanish. It's kind of like this conundrum, like, it's definitely a very common language in the United States. Spanish is very common. But everything that I do, I don't need... everything that I do... Sorry, I just got confused for a second. Everything that I do personally, the things that I do, I generally don't use Spanish. Or don't need it. For various reasons. I do need Chinese a lot. And then I don't necessarily need German, but all the things that have interests in, that are frequent parts of my life, media, etc., that have an interest to me, philosophy aside, because let's face it, you can get it in English. Although I will argue that Goethe is worth reading in German, because it's more beautiful. Chinese is the most useful. And I do use I just use German a lot because it's just stuff I'm interested in. Do I need it necessarily? No, but whatever. I'm also like German on both of my parents have German heritage. Anyway, I got really mad the last two times I went to Florida, because I was trying to keep up with my Spanish. I felt bad. Not this time, but the previous one. I felt bad because I thought, oh, I'm not good enough. I should have put more studies into my Spanish. And then I got there, and then it was the weird time where most people were speaking English, and it happened again this year when I was in Florida too. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, I thought because the whole point of me learning Spanish was because I had a problem where I couldn't communicate with people because they couldn't speak English. This is just a thing. There's so many places in Florida that I have been to. Dude, I've been to Florida many, many times where people just don't speak English. Whole towns, just stores. You go grocery shopping, nobody speaks English. It's just Florida, whatever. That's just how it is. That's my experience repeatedly. And David was fluent in Spanish, very fluent in Spanish. And then I had been very, I don't know, in my head about it and very divided about it. And I'm like, should I even bother? Because the last time I went, which is this year, there was just some stuff I just was just very unhappy about. And I was like, this is not worth it. At this point, it's not worth it. I don't know if I ever want to do this again. Like, there's certain things that are just crossing the line, and I don't want to deal with these certain things anymore. And then when I came back here, and I had to do all this stuff. I had to do things with my husband, and I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it out loud. I just didn't know what I was doing. And then I went shopping, and you went shopping for certain things. Because there's many times where I make things, or I fix things, and I need stuff, and we go shopping, and I do artsy stuff all the time, and sewing, and whatever else I feel like doing. And every freaking store we went to that particular time to go shopping for stuff, it was bizarre because this never happens ever. And every single person that worked in Walmart and every store we went to could barely speak English, but they spoke Spanish. So it was like David going, yeah, but it's actually pretty useful. You could still use it for these other reasons. And this is the kind of thing that David does. So today I was doing my Greek, and before when I tried to learn Greek when I was in my 30s, I think I was very I had probably severe malnutrition, and I was really mad at myself, disappointed in myself. I had all this negative everything going on with me, and my highly judgmentalness at myself. Like I don't know, in the Olympics or something, in Russia or whatever. And I'm like a freaking dictator to myself. I never treat people as bad as I treat myself. It's just a thing I had to get over. And I wanted to learn Greek. I was also interested in certain ancient culture of Celtic Irish stuff. And I tried to do Irish, which is so hard. I was also highly anemic. It might be a different story today. I don't know. I just don't. It is difficult. I thought learning Irish was very difficult. And I was doing Greek. And then that was hard because it's not using the same kind of letters like we do, right? As this is modern contemporary Greek. And the nation of Greece today, the modern Greece, that Greece, versus ancient Greek, which is all over the Mediterranean, and not just Athens and there. I'm talking modern Greek. And one place I had talked to my husband about many times was I wanted to go to Athens, and there's many interesting places in Greece and around that area. And, he has an idea for a dream vacation, but we're not talking about what, when, where. It's just an idea, just a dream. But because of this thing he said to me, I was like, well, I'm going to study Greek now. And so I started studying Greek lately in the DuoLingo, if you want to consider that studying. This is my passive learning. I have many methods of passively learning things, including languages. This is one. The other one is listening to music. And I have various methods of learning and picking up things passively. I have learned to maximize a lot of things that I do. And so when people come to me and they want me to do every freaking thing for them, and I've already given you the things that you could try this, and you have, it's 3 months have gone by and you still haven't, whatever. I'm just kind of what have you been doing the past 3 months? other than like doom scrolling on the toilet while playing a video game. You know what I mean? I play video games too, so I'm still learning things. I'm always learning things. I'm always practicing something. And so the little pop-up thing on DuoLingo on my phone popped up, and it's like, oh, time to study. And I have so many freaking languages I do on there. I'm right now just focusing on Greek. I could easily go back to German, like it's not a problem. Same thing with Chinese, not a problem. I don't think my Chinese is amazing. I don't think my German is amazing, but it's not a problem for me. It's something I can just, it's just there. The other stuff I'd have to put some effort into. I also have like High Valerian and I think Klingon in there just because. And I suck at those. Don't even bother. Don't ask me anything. I don't know. I think because of the way that they set it up, it just, I don't know. The real world languages was easier. Anyways, so I go to do my Greek lesson today, and my lesson, or it's a video game. DuoLingo is a video game. Okay, it's a video game, and it's also learning. You're learning stuff and playing a video game. So I had just talked about David, because this is the things that he does. And I have done these lessons many times over. I think one thing that they like to do is repetition, which is a good thing, to reinforce things. They'll use like association or image association, concept association. I think they kind of try and gauge like how you learn better at some things and what you're not as good at or whatever. But it's still like in this beginner thing. And I've never had scores this good in Greek before. And I've done DuoLingo many times in Greek over the years. And I would always get like frustrated after like anywhere from like a few days, few hours, or a week or two. And I've actually kept up with it the whole month. And I was kind of freaked out that my scores were really good. I was like, maybe I'm just good at this sort of standardized test. Like, there is ways of critical thinking you can use and like standardized testing methods. I'm not really great at standardized testing, but you can game that. And there's ways around like how I can make like quote unquote educated guesses at stuff. So I would oftentimes do that. But then like, I don't know, I was like figuring these things out. But since I've been at this for like a month, a lot of times it's just kind of the same thing repeated over and over, or they'll just switch stuff up, and there hasn't been that many new things in the lessons, right? So, like, it's so interesting how many words in English are actually Greek. That this is kind of one of the easy ways, either visually by the way it looks, or the way it sounds. There's times where I can figure out certain things in modern Greek. So, like I said, I had just recorded 2 vlogs, and I talked about my friend David, who, by the way, was a teacher at Yale, and he was in, I believe, the drama department, okay? Since we're talking about ancient Greek, or Greek culture, Greek everything, world culture, Greece, Greek everything, especially Athens, is the hub of everything. Modern culture, entertainment, music, poetry, literature, the concept of an epic, how to write an epic, how to do a thesis, science, logic, all these amazing things came from the Greeks, all right, especially Athens. So we have the philosophers, the great artists, Phidias, what was it, the 7 wonders of the world, many of which were Greek, okay? And I'm sitting there doing the lesson, and I notice like, oh, it's I do the first one, and then they start kind of weaving in some new stuff, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to figure this out. Do a little critical thinking skills. We finish the first one, go to the next lesson, and it's now very different. And I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. There's new letters, there's new words, there's new like ways of grammar and whatever. It's just all still basic stuff. I'm still not amazing or anything at Greek. I'm just like, this is interesting to me. So it's talking, for a while it's been talking about cinema, right, and museums. Jeez. Probably because, it's a lesson about Greek language, because that comes with culture. And then there's these words that start coming up, and I recognize the word even though I don't speak Greek per se. And I recognize this one word as throne, and then the next word was David. But it was like the throne of David. Then it was talking about like a teacher, a museum, architect, and the throne of David, and all this stuff at the school, all these freaking things that was David. And it was just in that one lesson. The lessons after that did not do that. So these are the kinds of weird, quirky, seemingly, actually there's no way that's random. There's no way that's random. These are the kinds of things that happen with David. He does these things. He does these things all the time. I wish I had recorded it. Unfortunately, I can't get my phone. I used to have a thing. I have the software and I have the hardware, the cables to hook it up to my computer. But do you think I could get my phone to actually do the screen share and screen capture to my computer anymore? No, it just doesn't work. But anyway, here, let's do this. Anyway, so this is my Spotify because I mentioned it. Oh my god, I've reposted Yasmin's stuff. So this is the stuff that I did about 15 years ago or before. And I may or may not be doing music, something or other, or projects or whatever, I don't know. It's just an idea. And then, because I absolutely just hate social media platforms. It's kind of weird how now my feeds, I didn't do anything different, have a tendency to show animation and animators lately, even though that was just not a thing before. And I went through so many changes or whatever. Okay, here we go. Here's the AI. Did you see that? I don't know if that showed. Probably not going to show now. Okay, it's all different now. Well, whatever. There was like a whole anti-AI thing here. Especially us animators. People have very strong feelings about this. So, I used to try so many times to, try and conform and get a job and do all these things that people wanted me to do, or all these rules and reality in life that people wanted me to do. And I just was so fed up that I just made my LinkedIn like so anti-establishment. I'm just so fed up with reality and this stupid world. It's just so dumb that I made my profile just so anti-establishment. Like, I wrote like Pokemon Go, professional Pokemon Go player, and seeker of the down and one's true dharma. I put a photo of myself that is so not corporate, and I just felt like, just screw this reality. There are actually people I recognize, this person and this person, this person and this person. I am fed up with so-called agents, people who are gonna find me a job and then never freaking do. I don't like temp agencies. There are so many of these ridiculous, I recognize this person here. I get a lot of weird messages from people I don't know who are bots or annoying, or they're out to get something has nothing to do with me. And I'm just really just fed up. One thing I'm really tired of is getting emails and private messages from people who are like, oh, we saw your resume, we found your resume, and you're so awesome and amazing and blah blah, and you're perfect for blah 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 blah. And then I'm thinking, like, what exactly in my freaking resume did you say that inspired and delighted you? Because then I'll go to the thing that they want, and it's like so not me. It's like some stupid job that's like commission based. Here's one. Here's a tip. If you if you get job offers emailed to you, or you're in these job seeking platforms and it's a fast paced environment, do not ever apply there. Do not give them your information, because then you will start getting more fast paced stupid jobs like that. And it's just a very toxic place to work. It's lots of pressure. It's a very toxic, bad work culture. And I don't know why they think calling it fast-paced environment, competitive, like you're bad people. You are bad people. You should not be in charge of anything. You are first of all, do not ever call yourself an A-type personality, because that means you're a bad person. A-type personality, this is something to brag about. This is something that people were ashamed of talking about back when I was growing up. This is people who are going to have high blood pressure. If you look into the whole origin of A-type personality, like where this category came from, this is not something you want to, brag about being. You are not the good guy. The bad guys, the villains are A-types. Okay? You don't want to be that. You do not want to be that. You want to be a more calm, collected person, a person who's not impulsive, a person who can think before they act, and you want to have more like maturity to yourself. You do not want to be like an A-type personality is not a person of maturity. An A-type personality is ironic because I literally rebelliously did my freaking LinkedIn as like screw the world, right? Screw all, because I'm just so tired of playing all these stupid conformist games. I'm so tired of this. Well, you have to lower your standard. You have to give up this. You have to You have to be practical. You have to be. There's honestly so many things in my life that I would prefer practicality for, right? But we live in this freaking weird freaking reality. So, when it comes to, is it here? Do I still have it here? I don't think it is. Whatever. Fail. Nailed it, Candace. I want to do more with my art stuff. I also am, please don't come to me with your I don't know, your overly aggrandized views of AI. Oh, the poor AIs, they're slaves, they're blah 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 blah. Animators, cartoonists, people who actually put discipline into things. We don't want to freaking hear your sob story. It's like the new vegetarianism, but oh, let's all join in hands and sing Kumbaya with the AIs and stuff. Yeah, no, we're not. Look, AIs are not going away. They're kind of here to stay. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't particularly feel like my artwork is that particularly amazing at this particular point in time. And I would like to do a lot more with it. I have my own projects and my own things that I want to do. I have my own characters or original characters, my OCs, the things that I have worked on and stuff like that since I was a kid. There's a lot of rough things here, and I want to do things more in my life that are like more art. I like cartoons, I like comic books, I like animation. I'm a traditional animator, but I also like to have this hybrid of 3D. I like VFX also, and I like making films. I have a film I made. It won like all these awards, whatever. Nobody freaking cares. And there are things that I want to do with the time I have left, and I don't want to be diverted off my, like, if I have a plan, and I have a goal, and I want to work on these things, and I want to improve. Let's say I have a list. I want to improve these things, and I want to, like, I have a list of stuff, right? In this list, nowhere in there is getting distracted and having my energy sucked away from pests. Okay? If you're not an artist, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, if you don't care about what I care about, but you want me to care about everything about you, and you make your life a wreck because you want to see some super Wonder Woman person, please go find some other Wonder Woman person. I'm not the Wonder Woman person. I've tried to help, whoever, and it's not like any one specific, but it's several. Another one is, if you have a drug problem, freaking get clean. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I have supported, I have been there, I have all this stuff. I didn't cancel this and that. But nowhere in you doing drugs and destroying yourself does that ever entitle you to abuse me. I don't deserve to be verbally abused, emotionally abused. I don't deserve to have all of my attention demanded to now, give you attention. To listen to your weird, warped view of reality. Okay? And I mean, like, there are people who think I'm nuts. Okay, you think I'm nuts? Stop wasting your time on me. Like, you can't have both. Either I'm crazy and you don't like what I have to do, okay, then goodbye. Or you want my attention all the time. Why? Because you think I'm some amazing Wonder Woman. I'm so done with that. I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm not Superman. I don't know. Like, you at this point have the ability to try. Just try to do something. Try, and whatever it is. It is so not fair. Another one is, this one is it's so sad because I see this constantly. If you have a drug problem, your answer to your drug problem is not you being a celebrity guru. Okay? You having a sad trauma life or whatever. The answer is that you're above everybody and everybody's going to worship you. Like, this is so not the answer at all. Several slices of humble pie. Several slices of humble pie, please. Another one, I have, there are people that I know that multiple. There's no one specific. It's just multiple, and I'm just so tired of it. A lot of times for people when they're down and out, because I know they like certain things, there's a lot of people in this sort of new agey category thing, and I'm not new agey, although I do meditation a lot, and I whatever. I am not this theist, guru. I am not some spiritual advisor. There were times when, multiple people were down and out, and I knew they liked doing things like something called cartomancy. It's a performance art. It's kind of fortune telling. It's like card reading, and there's whatever. And so I would tell these people, like, they're sad, they're depressed, they're going through hard everything. And multiple persons. And I'm like, well, maybe you could do, like, fortune telling or whatever, because it's entertaining. People seem to really like it, and you have you're fascinating. You're interesting. Various persons are very interesting, likable, friendly, sweet, pretty. There's something unique about you. You that people like you, and I thought, okay, well, I wouldn't share this person up. I'm like, why don't you do some fortune telling stuff? I know you like these certain things. Why don't you do that? And then this stuff will, like, go to their head, and, like, they're, like, on these crusades. Like, we just No, that never ends well. How did Salem work out? It didn't. They started like crushing people to death and stealing their land and accusing everybody of being a witch. But you know, they were the Puritans, okay? How does that ever work out? It doesn't. It just doesn't. I don't have all the answers. I do not know everything. This is why like I keep going back to Socrates. Socrates and the origin of philosophy. He would say stuff like, the only thing that I know for sure is they really knew nothing at all. And there's a whole story with that. If you read the very short book that Plato wrote about, so short, it's called The Apology or The Defense of Socrates, when he was subjected to this kangaroo court trial, and then he was sentenced to death for quote-unquote corrupting the youth. Yeah, he taught them how to think logically and rational thought. And if you think the solution to your problems, or your sadness and whatever is to be some kind of glorified, grandiose guru to be worshipped and all that, it's just, I really think the answer to your problem is not vainglorious. Vaingloriousness is not the answer to things. It just isn't. You should probably check yourself. Just like I said, humble pie. Have another slice of humble pie, please. Honestly, I don't give a crap about being famous. I don't give a crap about being like millions of views and just, I'm so awesome. I just don't freaking care about that. I don't care about having $1 million, or at this point, $1 million isn't even really worth that much anymore. There's another thing. Being rich is not going to necessarily make you happy. There's a lot of people. So this is the thing that happens with lottery winners, is they oftentimes blow through their money, and the Treasury knows this, the CIA knows this, the feds know this. There's an actual like figure that they have. The majority of lottery winners who win a large amount of money blow through their money within 2 to 3 years. And it's because they don't know how to, like, what to do. They overdo things, they underdo things. A lot of times they regret it and they wish they never even won because they were more debt than before they won. This happens also with various star athletes. Okay? Here's the thing. If I were to win the lottery today or tomorrow, I know what I would do and how to do it. But I'm pretty sure all these people who think that they're gonna, be super wealthy, they have no idea. I also worked in banking. It was not good. It was very bad. I know a lot about the banking system. I know how to more than basically, I know how to charter a bank. There's a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of this stuff that I know. And it's funny because, like, there are people who will come at me with these certain stupid, ignorant arguments, and then I will refute all these things, and then they're always at the end like, well, if you know so much, why aren't you rich? That's a good question. That's a great question. What do you think? Because there's a lot more going on than just fake it till you make it. This reality incentivizes corruption to be on top. Okay? If you're good, if you actually care about people, it weeds you out, it tries to corrupt you, or it like kicks you out. Okay? I want to just mostly focus on like art and stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to be focusing like certain kinds of laziness, and I don't, people will think I'm being a freaking snob or whatever, but like, if I can do something better and it only takes a little bit of effort to do just certain things, and then it exponentially makes me better as an artist or a creator or whatever, I'm gonna do that. And then by me doing that, and I have taught so many people art stuff over my lifetime. And at some point, you start to realize, like, oh, if I really put some effort into this, it could be even better. And it's funny because, like, I always felt like the things that I did and that I did very well, I thought everyone else could do it. But I don't know, it's like there's this cap where people are just not willing to go beyond or whatever. And now we have to deal with AI stuff. So, is this working? I don't know. Whatever. So basically I have like my stuff. I am deathly afraid of having my work stolen, having my work. There are reasons why. There are definitely reasons why I have these big fears. Um, I I I put my time and my effort into stuff. There are literally poses and styles. I had a back in the day in the GeoCities days. I had poses and I had like wing poses and stuff that people copied, and to this day it's always the exact same poses that I came up with. I actually have internet history. Like I am a historical person of the internet in the arts. That's not a hyperbole. It just is. Okay? And there's so many times where I've had people of lesser everything, that sounds so arrogant, I'm so sorry, who would beat me out for grants or beat me out for jobs and positions, not based on being the person who deserved it. Isn't that some shit? Because of nepotism. Or who knows? Like, I so many thoughts about so many things. And I will put my effort and I will put my work. I will put just so much energy into things only to have be screwed over, someone else take the credit for what I did, or not even get paid. Okay? So I feel some type of way. I also really just do not appreciate people who, like, you don't care about the things that I care about. Why do you want to constantly suck my time and energy from me to you for no reason? Do you want to do art stuff with me? No. Are you interested to like the other thing is like they want to do these kinds of things, and then I'm like, okay, these are the things you can do. Do they ever do any of them? Not a single one. Here's one of the ones that I just, certain things that people want, persons that have multiple persons, they'll want certain things, and I'm like, well, I know ways around it. You actually have money that I don't have. You could get a 3D printer, and then you could just learn these things. Or if you don't want to buy a 3D printer and learn it, you could go to a makerspace, which is free. There's one at UMass Boston, and you could just have someone help you do the design thing or the thing you want. The thing you want is super basic. Just go do that. Do you think they would do that? Do you think they would do that? No. I I don't know what some of these people want or what they think or why they think these things or why they think it's okay to do these certain stupid things to me. I want to I want to do things like life drawing classes again. I want to practice more animation again. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do I don't want to have an AI do everything for me. That is literally just death. That's a death sentence to me, okay? I literally just was like at a very depressed point in time in my life, and I was just so fed up with just like I had tried like everything. I got involved in activism. I got involved in political things. I was doing like letter writing campaigns. I did like all of these certain things for it to all like start to have progress, and then all the progress we got just with a stroke of a pen just ended like that many freaking times. And then I'm like, what just happened to like 5-10 years of my life? You know? So at some point I was like, I was just doing Pokemon Go because you don't get punished for playing Pokemon. Apparently that fixed a lot of my algorithms, you know what I mean? So, um, if art is not your thing, you don't care about art, you don't care about artists, and you want to ride the bandwagon of the yay for the AI, they're our space brother friends or whatever, I don't want anything to do with that. Okay? I can be open minded to all these things to a great deal. And then, like, I was very interested. Like I said, I just did a whole bunch of experiments with AI music, and my daughter was so unhappy with me. She chewed me out for like a day. And she wasn't wrong. Okay? Um, so I do have things I want to do. I do have things I like to do. And honestly, at this point, I spent so much time playing Pokemon Go that this year especially, I was just super burnt out from playing Pokemon Go. That I slacked off so much. I haven't slacked off this much ever. Now we have 80 freaking levels. 80 now. I'm at 71. I'm kind of pacing myself right now because I feel like the next few levels is just kind of, it's going to happen. So I don't really need to rush it, even though I have kind of rushed some of it a little bit. And another thing I just do like a lot. So here's the thing. Um, when it comes to like unicorns and things, I'm just so. You see the pose of the unicorn? It's like a dynamic. You know, it's diving into the water, doing a backflip, right? I'm just very tired of boring poses, and like this is a very boring pose. Like it's the same profile pose of any other freaking unicorn out there. Um, I just want to do I just want to do more art stuff, okay? I also, a lot of times, I just want to do meditation stuff. I do meditation very differently now than I used to. I especially do Silva method. I do a little bit of gateway process, and I just I have a meditation practice again, and it's different now. I feel better. I'm not depressed. I don't have depression anymore. Even if Pokemon Go was deleted today, I would definitely not be happy about it. I'd be very pissed off. But I'd be okay. I'd be very okay. Whereas there are a lot of people I grew up with, or went to college with, or whatever, who have to deal with and cope with, or high school, or, AMC, that's another one, who have to deal with and cope with depression, anxiety, whatever, all these negative mental health things. And I totally understand these things. I understand it. I understand why people are, why people have made various choices, why people shrink away, why people hide, right? Here's another thing. If somebody doesn't want to talk to me, if it's not mutual, if it's not reciprocal, if they don't reply, if they don't, like, I can still try and check up on them, especially certain people, like, if I love them very much, I'll still care about them, I'll try to look out for them or see how they're doing, whatever, and I can still send a message or whatever. But there's a certain point where, like, if somebody doesn't really like me or doesn't respond to me, I don't want to be the pest. Like, I can take a frickin' hint. Okay, you just don't like me reciprocally, or like you just don't feel the same way, or maybe it's just not that way anymore, like friendship or whatever. And that's fine. You do whatever you want, whatever you like. I don't believe in forcing people to be your friends if they don't want to be. I don't believe in trying to force people to love you or love you back, because if they actually did love you, this wouldn't be an issue. There's also things like neglect. That's another thing. Especially some people. People are freaking adults. They're an adult. I shouldn't have to pester somebody to give me attention, pester somebody to acknowledge me, if after a certain point, like there's a certain point where like they just not that into you or me or whatever, and I can take a hint. Okay, if especially if somebody's been very rude to me, abusive to me, disrespectful to me, never apologized to me, or has a weird self-centeredness or a double standard of things and they've never apologized, I I can be polite and I can humor things, but I'm not your stooge. I'm not your pawn. I'm not your Wonder Woman save you kind of super girl mom person. There's also that. There's like where people want me to be like their mom. I'm not your mom. I have a kid, and I'm the mom to her. Uh, and another thing is, I'm just so not interested in fortune telling at all right now. I don't think I want to be again. And there's just other things I'd rather do with my time. I'm I am actually very much a skeptic in so many things, and I analyze. I'm always analyzing things. I'm always learning things. I'm always questioning things, and this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. Um, I also like so. I have to make this point because I feel like it bears repeating, and I've probably said it before. So someone like, for example, like Bruce Lee, I've seen interviews of him, I've read articles and so on, and he would say stuff like, if I talk about myself being good at he's a philosopher too, by the way, and an artist. If he say I'm good at this or I'm good at that, they would say you're so arrogant. And then he said if he would say, oh well, I might be kind of good at this or that, then they would say like they would be like, oh, I know you're lying. Um, there is something to be said about modesty. There is some. This is kind of like I many times have like an interest in like Zen certain stuff, and one of the things for years I used to just sit there for hours, for months at a time, especially like in the spring and then the fall. I listen to like talks and lectures and recordings, like real ones, not AI ones, of Alan Watts. Yes, that's a thing. There are AI fake recordings of Alan Watts now. I found several this year. um, but Alan Watts was one of my favorite lecturers or whatever, counterculture guys. He also would decry the concept of gurus himself. Ironically, the word guru just means teacher. What I don't like is there is this weirdness of gurus, especially if you see like in India, but it's not just India, it's in the West as well, where these people they turn themselves into some kind of like a god figure and they're so fancy and so whatever. And I really do not care for this at all, at all, at all, at all. Um, I don't think if you're looking for meaning in your life, I don't think being a guru is the answer to your problems. Another problem I see with that, especially with men, and oh no, she's anti-male. It is this weird depraved sex thing. It's just so like it's one maybe you want to have sex with different girls, right? And that's fine. We're not judging, right? But at some point, do you really need to bang 3,000 chicks? Do you need to like have all these notches in your belt while proclaiming to be a spiritual guru? But then 3,000 women isn't enough, and an orgy isn't enough. This is where it's like really going overboard, right? That now you have to push the line of trying to push your male friends to participate, and now you're bending all these weird things. And it's one thing to we could go transgender, there's a point where these are healthy, these are fine, okay? And then there's a point where these things are just so depraved we shouldn't be also trying to force yourself upon elderly women and children and and see and what you can get away with cops and all these. At some point, I don't know why you thought being a guru entitled you to have just depraved, just weird sexual, weird, just. And it's not like just normal, like, let's have sex and yay, we're having fun. No, it's like, no, that's not interesting enough for you. You have to have sick, disgusting, painful, weird. Like, do you see what I mean? At some point, this is kind of like why I feel like there were issues with a lot of so-called spirituality that had overly strict things going on with anti-sex stuff, and then we had a lot of this counterculture of like pro-sex, which is fine. It's fine, but at what point is it too much? At what point is it just at some point it's perversion. At some point, this isn't this isn't an ethics thing. This is where, like, this is why, like, I feel like the problem with a lot of things is, so for example, when I was younger, I thought the thing that was important to me was spirituality. But spirituality can mean like 9,000 different things to any number of people. It's just a word that can mean any number of things. Even the word spirit just means like to inhale air into your lungs. That's it. That's what it means. And this is another thing why, you don't study philosophy, you haven't studied the origins of the pre-Socratics either, and you would know the origin of the verbiage that we're using, which, by the way, is Greek. Ancient Greek. And I know these things. I don't know all of it. I'm not an expert, but I do know of these things. And at some point, I started to realize, like, there is a point where things are just not okay and they're wrong or they're lacking in ethics. Also, ethics is another topic. There's many styles of ethics. One of them, by the way, was called hedonism, which was intended to be a good thing and went very wrong. But there are other ones. Another one is stoicism, which I detest. I personally like the Cynics. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my ultimate favorites, is the Cynics. I just loved the cynicism. It's just so me. Okay? Fascinating, all of that. But it's funny that you don't know these things. That these are not taught to you. You're not taught about Pericles. You're not taught about Phidias. You're not talking about how Athens became what it is, or how democracy became what it is, or the arts, etc. You are just, for some reason, not taught about this. You have at your fingertips literally all the information you could possibly want or need. We're at the point where a lot of it is starting to be, like, censored. But you just like things that make you feel good. That's hedonism. Pleasure seeking. Is that the point? And my point is, at some point I realized what mattered to me, what was actually important to me, was not quote-unquote spirituality, but it was ethics. Okay? Ethics. You could even say morality, but that's another conversation. I would say ethics. What is good? How do you know? Why is one thing good and what isn't good? Also, I don't feel that the ultimate meaning of things is just pleasure, or feel-goodness, or being humored. This is just not good enough. Also, I feel like doing the right thing or the right things is not it's not always the easy thing. The right thing or the right path or the things that you should be doing, the right things, are oftentimes the harder things, the harder path. And it's easier to do the wrong thing, right? And I'm not okay with just the easy way out of things. I'm not okay with just go along to get along or don't rock the boat. Okay? If I have said or suggested something to you because I care about you, but you didn't want to hear it, I suggest you look into that and you think about that. I personally want to do my art stuff. I have like goals and hopes and wishes and things I'd like to achieve. And so I'm focusing on it, but I have a very different approach to this today than I ever did. And if you don't want to support that and you don't want to be a part of that, like, I'm not going to necessarily kick you out of my life or cancel you or whatever, but like, please stop being a pest. Please stop trying to distract me. Please stop making trouble. Just, there's so many things. Like, why are you doing these things? Like at some point, like, I feel like we need a slice of several slices of humble pie. I think we need to, you need to, or we, you need to evaluate, self-evaluate, self-reflect, scrutinize yourself. Like, what is your motive? What is it you're trying to do? What are you after? Why are you doing these certain things? I also, like, I don't know why everything is just pinned onto me. I don't treat people like that. I don't know why people think it's okay to treat me like that. Now, I can definitely say where I have been hard on myself. I have been so hard on myself. This is another thing. I have been so hard on myself. I've been a bully to myself, but I would never treat other people the way I used to treat myself. And I was absolutely horribly abusive to myself. I wouldn't do that to you, but I can, as someone who cares, go, hey, what about this? Hey, are you sure about this? Hey, maybe you should rethink this. If your answer to everything is just some parroted thing because you like the way it sounds, or some glory thing, I think you should reassess. I think you should rethink. And I feel like so many people are so much smarter than they act. They're so much smarter, they're so much better, and yet they just keep themselves kind of limited or willfully ignorant because it sounds better if you talk in this way, or the group is doing and saying these things or whatever. I'm my own person. Okay? By doing my art stuff, I'm not harming anybody. By dressing however I want to dress, or wearing the clothes, or doing my hair the way I feel like doing, does not harm other people. Okay? I do things like I practice singing every day. Apparently now I practice Greek every day. You don't have to do that if you don't want to do that. You like your mediocrity or whatever, that's you. That's not me. Don't try and drag me down out of whatever it is I'm doing to go down to something because you're down in this whatever. I don't want to go down there with you. Okay? I've done a lot. I've put a lot of care and effort and thought and thoughts, love, compassion, whatever it is. At some point, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know what else. Other than I think it looks like you just like trouble. You like to make trouble. You like to force people to constantly prove that they love you, which is a form of abuse. That is not okay. At some point, I'm done. Okay? Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. If you're not going to work with me, if you don't want to participate, I'm not going to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. So why would you try and force me to do everything all about you? Okay? I'm just done. I just don't want anything. Just let me be. Okay? Just let me be. Anyway, hopefully some people will start to self-reflect, and it's just so many. There are literally times where I'll sit there and I finally have a moment to myself, because I'm very much a multitasker. I sometimes can literally be doing like 5, 6, 7, 8 things simultaneously, and I'm like, well, while this is loading, I'll be doing this, and then that thing, I can let that start loading, and I can do. Finally got all that started, about to do this, the main thing I actually want to do. Next thing you know, I get a freaking text message, and then while that person's texting me, 3 other people simultaneously text me or DM me, and they want to talk about nothing. Nothing at all. Another one is haggling for a lucky trade, and then I don't have whatever meets their high standard of absolute they must have. For some reason they want me. I must, for no reason, because they exist. They were born, okay? I must have a shadow, or some kind of shiny legendary, so that they can lucky trade it with, so that they can do a lucky trade with me. Also, some of these like haggles are not equal or fair. I have so many times hooked people up that I did not need to, that I probably shouldn't have, but I'm just very nice. And I'm like, well, I have the power to make this person's day. And then because I was nice like that, they would start to take advantage of it and exploit me. Okay? I don't want... I don't know why... you need to stop looking at me like I'm some sucker. There's a difference between being generous and being a stooge. Okay? I'm not your stooge. I don't know why you think you're so entitled to force me to do your bidding. Like did you actually think that that because you exist, you don't do raids with me, you don't interact with me, you almost never talk to me, you talk to my other friends, mutual friends, but not always to me, and then somehow I'm supposed to go out raiding all day to try and get a shiny legendary so that I can trade it with you. And then, because I don't have the thing you want, and you've been pestering, and this is multiple people too, pestering me for days, weeks, hours, all day, all night. Some of these people, I don't have the thing they want. They don't even know what they want. They're simultaneously haggling with other people. They'll make time to go do a thing with me, and then not show up, blow me off, which I hate. And then they'll blow me off for 2-3 months. After 2-3 times of this, when I see a text from that person or a DM or whatever, I will just ignore you for like 2-3 days. You can wait until I'm ready, because I have things. There are things that I have put off multiple times for no reason because of you. Okay? It's one thing to be a good neighbor. Another thing, well, like on my end, but what about on your end? Okay, I'm just keeping it real. Just really need to, I don't know, vent, I guess. So